Okay, Memeleni, I will count you down now. Done. All right. Um, in 3 seconds, 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. On you.
To you, the lovely GIC viewers and listeners within and beyond the borders of the Republic of Namibia, and a very warm welcome to your Tuesday morning edition of the Office's Ministries and Agencies Information Sharing Session. As always, we are coming to you live and direct from the Government Information Center studio here in the heart of the nation's capital, Windhoek. For this morning's episode, I will be your host, Hileni Felepe-Samunyela, and I'm joined in the studio by a team of well-versed representatives, and they are here to help us understand the seasonal focus. But before I can officially welcome them to the Government Information Center, I would like to pause here and extend a warm invitation to you, Namibia, to be part of this conversation by following the discussion on our social media platforms where we are currently streaming this show live. Now on Facebook, we are at Ministry of Information and Communications Technology, or alternatively, you can stream us live on our YouTube channel, and our handle there is MICT Namibia. I urge you to be part of this conversation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please help me welcome my studio guests for this morning. On my immediate left, I am joined by Ms. Helen Likando. She is a director in the Department of Disaster Risk Management in the Office of the Prime Minister. Ms. Likando, good morning once again, and welcome back to the Government Information Center.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right. And then, of course, next to Ms. Likando is Ms. Beata Ipinge. She is a meteorological technician at the Namibia Meteorological Services. Good morning, Ms. Ipinge, and welcome to the Government Information Center.
Good morning to you, Helen, and thank you for having me.
All right. Now, to begin the conversation, I'd like to start with you, Ms. Ipinge. Could you briefly explain to us what a seasonal focus is and how it differs from the usual or the daily weather updates that we Namibians usually follow?
Okay, thank you for the question. The seasonal focus is the difference between the seasonal focus and the daily focus is seasonal focus is being the focus for a long-term focus, which is done for 3 months overlapping.
Okay.
And it's also done a long time further to the date of the focus.
Right. So you are focusing in future, projecting in future.
Yes.
All right. And then the daily focus?
The daily focus, that is now a short-term focus, which is basically based on the day focus, like a 24-hour focus.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Ipinge, for setting the tone for this conversation and for teaching us what the difference is between a daily focus as well as a seasonal focus. Thank you so much. And now, building on to that, could you kindly walk us through the key messages for this seasonal focus, and especially which areas are likely to receive above normal, or below normal rainfall?
Okay, thank you.
So the question is, please walk us through the key messages for this year's seasonal focus. Let's start there first.
Okay. For the first part of the season, October, November, December, we expect above normal rainfall, so especially in the northeastern part, where we have Zambezi, Kavango East, Kavango West, part of Oshana and the part of Ohangwena, and also the eastern part of Ochozonjupa and Omaheke region. In contrary, in the southern region, there's a higher likelihood of below normal rainfall, and over the central and northwestern part, we expect normal rainfall.
Okay. So as projected on the images on our screens right now, is that the red, is that where the rain is going to be more, or, but you said the northeast, right? So that is the blue part.
Yeah, the blue part is denote above normal rainfall, while the green part denote normal rainfall, and then the red part, the red color is denoting the below normal rainfall.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Ipinge, for highlighting that. Now, of course, as we can see on the images there, for the second part of the question, when we ask which areas are likely to receive above normal or below normal rainfall, that is already then clarified to see. You said that the northeastern areas are most likely to get the above normal rainfall, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Ms. Likando, I am with you now. I wanted to find out from you, given the forecast shared by the Namibia Meteorological Services, how does the Office of the Prime Minister interpret these projections in terms of national disaster risk management?
Thank you. What this basically means, in fact, the meteorological services have just given us what the weather will be, how it looks like. From a disaster risk management perspective, we now look at it and say, what will it do? How will it impact different sectors and communities at large? Based on the forecast, we have had that the northern part of the country towards the central will expect normal to above normal rainfall, while as the southern part of the country will remain below normal.
Right.
What that means, the normal to above normal rainfall is associated with heavy rainfalls.
Right.
Now, what does that brings, or how does it impact on different sectors? Normal rainfall, heavy rainfall is usually associated with risks such as heavy rain, flooding,
yes,
damaging of roads,
infrastructure, properties.
It affects sectors such as the energy sector. We always experience in some areas, shutdowns of electricity.
Yeah.
That affects bulk water supply, extending it to telecommunication lines, and it affects the agricultural sectors, the health sector where clinics are not reachable and they are cut off, communities cannot get to clinics, the education sector where children will now not have access to schools and all that. So for us, we talk to all sectors and say every sector needs to prepare based on this forecast. What is it that we need to do to prepare to ensure that there is business continuity within our sector? Right.
And also I think further to that, as the downpours, sometimes diseases also, what you call it? The rainwater that is flooding from one area to others, diseases also surfaces, and of course that would then mean the Ministry of Health would have to start preparing for such, even the malarias and what have you, and waterborne diseases.
Exactly.
Right. No, thank you, Ms. Likando, for highlighting that. Now, further to that, Ms. Likando, how does your office work with regional and local authorities to prepare for potential floods, droughts, or other climate-related hazards?
There are coordination structures that are in place. Even starting from a SADC level, where we get these forecasts through SACOF and the SADC disaster risk, what they call SADC shock. Then they are localized by the National Meteorological Services. After that, we do communicate these to the National Disaster Risk Management Committee, which is multi-stakeholder represented, and inform them that this is what is likely to happen, and as different sectors, we need to prepare for this, for floods in some areas, and for possible continued drought in some areas.
Okay.
From there, the information trickles down to the regional disaster risk management committees, as well as the local authority disaster risk management committees. Recently, we have had presentations and discussions with different regions where we have presented these forecasts to them and say, activate your contingency plans in this light. Yeah.
Okay. And I think it's refreshing to know that this disaster risk management has footprints in local authorities, like you've mentioned, and the regional councils.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So you are represented. That is very commendable. Now, Ms. Likando, I stick with you. Now, what common risks do communities face during this period of, especially now that it's the rainy season, flooding, and what practical steps can the households then take to ensure the reduction and vulnerability?
The common risks, as I have alluded to, ranges from floods, flash floods, human diseases, animal diseases,
yes,
the
very important.
foot and mouth diseases,
yes.
Pesticides. We already have an outbreak of locusts in the Zambezi region.
Okay.
And of course, lightning that we have seen, it's another emerging risk where these rains are now associated with lightning. And we urge communities, those that are staying or living in low-lying informal settlements, those towns with poor drainage systems,
yes.
Farmers living in floodplain grazing areas, they need to prioritize and protect their properties and livestock.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Ms. Ipinge, would you like to expound on that, or is it sufficient? She's covered it, right? All right. Now, Namibia, if you are just joining in, you are tuned into an information sharing session. And as earlier mentioned, we are discussing the seasonal forecast. We would like to expound more and create an understanding of what it really means. I am joined in the studio by Ms. Likando. She is the director in the Disaster and Risk Management Department from the Office of the Prime Minister, and I'm also joined by Ms. Beata Ipinge. She is a meteorological technician with the Namibia Meteorological Services. I am your host, Helene Felebusamunyela, and I implore you to be part of this discussion by following this conversation on our social media platforms, where we are currently streaming this show live. Now on Facebook, we are at Ministry of Information and Communications Technology, or alternatively, you can stream us live if you are a YouTuber on YouTube, and our handle there is MICT Namibia. I urge you to be part and parcel of this very important conversation. As we continue with our discussion in the studio, Ms. Ipinge, I wanted to find out, for the benefit of our viewers and listeners, how is the Namibia Meteorological Services using technology to improve accuracy and timeliness of seasonal forecast? It's speaking to credibility, of course.
When we do the forecast, we look at several informations. the first thing we are looking at the climate drivers that affects our rainfall. So we are looking at the ENSO state. Like for this season, the ENSO state is currently at La Nina phase,
Okay.
which is expected to transition to ENSO neutral during early 2026.
Okay.
So, and with that, we are also using statistical model and dynamic models to do our forecast.
Okay.
So, and in terms of the accuracy, I could say it's moderately reliable, as it is.
It's a prediction.
It is
right?
a prediction, and it is a prediction, and it's a probability that we just give out that will not really giving you the
100%.
time and the intensity of the rainfall,
All right.
but rather in general trend
Okay.
of the rainfall.
All right.
But again, this forecast, since it's a long-term forecast, the precision of it will be cemented by the daily forecast that will be issued on a daily basis.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, thank you so much. And also, speaking to that, weather changes, right? The patterns could change at any given time. It is a prediction, so it's definitely not 100%, but something to guide against that.
Yeah, and also if we look at our climate, it's very highly variable, and it can really influence by a small change in the atmosphere, then that can also now alter the precision of our forecast.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, you'd like to expound, Ms. Lucan?
To that,
Yes.
the fact that these are predictions and there's high likelihood of chances that this may happen. And sometimes we will find that people get discouraged when it does not happen.
Right.
They'll want to hold government accountable and say, you said we should expect above normal to above normal rainfall. It's always better to prepare than not to prepare at all.
Yeah,
so if it doesn't happen, you remain prepared,
right,
so that you are not caught off guard.
Yeah.
And that is the purpose of an early warning system.
Right. Thank you so much for clarifying that, Ms. Likando. All right. Now, Ms. Likando, sticking with you, what are some of the communication channels that government uses to disseminate early warning, especially to the citizens of this country?
These informations, we have an early warning cluster that consists of the National Meteorological Services. In this regard, we get the forecasts from them. We get advisories.
Right.
And as they monitor to see the situation, and if when it escalates and they realize that the situation will be intense, we jointly with the National Meteorological Services sit together. We look at the advisory, we interpret it, and then we usually issue joint warnings.
Right.
Both the Office of the Prime Minister and National Meteorological Services.
Okay.
This as well applies to the National, the Hydrological Services of Namibia under the Ministry of Agriculture that monitors the river levels and the dam levels.
Right.
We have that collaboration with them that as they monitor, they continue to communicate with us. And when they have realized that, for example, the river levels have risen above a certain level,
right,
they will then communicate to us and say, start warning communities, those
nearby
that live in low-lying areas, to evacuate. It's always better for communities to evacuate themselves than to wait until the water gets
Last
into
minute.
their houses and their animals cannot move and
Right.
that kind of thing. So this information trickles to regional disaster risk management committees who should then further disseminate this information to communities up to the village development committees
Right.
who should then disseminate this information to everybody in the community.
Okay.
Local authorities have the same responsibility to also disseminate this information to their residents.
Okay.
Melanie,
All right.
I just wanted to find out, can I run those slides, maybe just to elaborate more?
All right. No, thank you, Ms. Likando, for that very important information. It is important to note what channels you usually make use of. And of course, TV and radio as well. We're
Yes.
talking about,
Yes.
but as far as I'm concerned, you are saying that it's the village development councillors or committees. That means we are at the grassroots of every corner of this country.
Yes.
It is really very highly appreciated. Ms. Ipinge, on your end, what are some of the channels that you make use of to communicate these weather forecasts?
We are using media.
Yeah, lock it there.
As soon as we get the forecast ready, so we send it to the media, we send it to, we also have groups that we send the forecast. A group of people, most of the people are agricultural officers and farmers,
Right.
and people from institutions where we are getting information, and including the OPM and the other institutions also. That's how we are disseminating our forecast.
Okay.
Yeah, we aim to maybe having it live at some point.
Okay. Right.
Things are right.
Yeah, no, that's a great initiative. We will, I'm sure, speaking on behalf of many Namibians, we would really highly appreciate that because the credibility that it comes with, it's very much appreciated, or it will be appreciated and honored. Thank you so much. Now, Ms. Likando, with climate change affecting rainfall patterns, how are institutions adapting to forecasting and disaster risk management? This question you both can respond to, but I'd like to start with you, Ms. Likando.
Of course, climate change has an effect on the rainfall pattern and, of course, the droughts and floods thereof. Those we have no control over. However, what we advise different sectors is that, for example, in the agricultural sector, depending on the forecast, if, for example, it has been predicted that we'll have a short season of rainfall, then we advise that sector ministry to advise farmers accordingly to use
The rainy season.
dry, tolerant crops
Yes.
that matures early, instead of planting the other usual crops that we are familiar with.
Yes.
And then they also train and encourage communities to use water harvesting techniques
Right.
in a case of predicted drought, so that we use water sparingly.
True that.
The energy sector also to put measures in place because low water levels affect the supply of electricity, the bulk water supply, and so on. So based on what is predicted, we then prepare sectors to put measures in place. But key is that most regions have got contingency plans
Right.
that gets activated depending on the hazard that is imminent. If it's floods, then they know what to do, what actions to be taken. If it's drought, what actions need to be taken, and so on.
Right. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Likando. Now, Ms.
So,
Ipinge.
To end on that,
Oh, okay. Right.
on the technical part or scientific part, we only say climate change is real, and as we see,
Lock it.
the season is becoming shorter and shorter, and the the dry spells is coming
Sooner than
unbearable.
it should have.
Yes.
Right.
And also the intensity of the rainfall. It's like you get heavy rainfall. At the end of the day, there's no follow-up, so you have a long dry spell.
Right.
So even at the end of the season, you have above normal rainfall, what came on the ground. But in terms of the crops, nothing, there will be nothing, because the crop couldn't survive the dry spell.
Right.
So it's climate change is really so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, thank you so much for that information. Now, sticking with you, Ms. Ipinge, what aspects of the forecast should farmers, especially small-scale farmers, pay attention to as they plan their agricultural activities?
I think they must pay attention to all the forecasts. First, they must pay attention to the seasonal forecast, and then they must listen to the daily forecast.
All right.
So, because at the end of the day you have the seasonal forecast, but if you are not following up with the daily forecast, then
anything can change.
Anything can change. It's the daily forecast that will tell you what is happening tomorrow, or maybe what is happening in the next 2 or so days.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Likando. We are nearing the end of our conversation this morning, but I'd like to pose you this question and to just find out what steps should communities and local leaders then take to prepare heavy rains, or prolonged dry spells. What do they need to do?
Let us start with the local authorities. Local authority councils should begin to inspect and clear drainage systems,
Right.
culverts and bridges, to ensure that when rain comes,
They can withstand.
the water is able to flow freely.
Right.
In the same vein, let us start to inspect and ensure that there are no people that have settled in risk areas before it's too late. Let us encourage communities, as my colleague have said, to listen to authorities, the hydrological services, as they monitor the dams and the river levels, the meteorological services, so that when we are alerted to evacuate, let us evacuate on time to protect our properties and our livestock.
Right.
At household level, communities, specifically in the north, should put signages on wells, on traditional wells, and the earth dams, so
Right.
that when they are filled up, we minimize the accidents that usually happens. Let them pre-position scents at high-risk households and institutions. This applies to local authorities as well. People should clear now. This is the time for us to clear drainages around our houses, the gutter systems around our yards. Let us prepare emergency kits. Communities should be able to protect their documents. Put them in safe plastics that even when they are affected, we don't lose our documents as usual. Let's keep our food items also safely stored in containers and raise electrical appliances above the floor level. During rainfall seasons, we encourage communities to stay indoors, especially monitor children from walking around, not to cross rivers, the waters that are flowing. And emerging now and very worrying and concerning is the risk of lightning. During rain seasons, we would encourage communities that when we experience lightning, let us remain indoors, not to walk around, and stay away from electrical appliances, using cell phones, wallets, you know, yes, such things.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Likando. As we conclude this discussion this morning, what are your key messages that you would like to leave with Namibians as we proceed through the rainy season? I think it has already started because in this November, I think we've experienced more rain than we did in previous years. Usually it would start here by end of November, maybe December, and then continue throughout January and so forth. Ms. Pinge, what are your key messages that you would like to leave with Namibians?
I would say, as we see, we have extreme events that are increasing. Especially in recent years, we observe the extreme events so much. What I would say is the community and the authority should prepare for all eventuality. If drought comes, we must prepare for drought. If flood comes, we must also prepare for flood, so that you'll be safe. Okay. Don't just prepare for one eventuality, but prepare for all.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Likando, you have the last word for this conversation. What is your message?
Thank you. My message will be to urge the communities to listen to relevant authorities and avoid information that is not credible.
Right.
In terms of early warning systems, the reliable institutions are the National Meteorological Services of Namibia, the Hydrological Services of Namibia, and of course, Office of the Prime Minister and Regional Disaster Risk Management Committees, including local authority committees. In addition to that, I would say with the good rainfall forecast, especially in the central, north, and northeast, I'll urge farmers to cultivate.
Already now.
Yes, so that we avoid food insecurity.
Right.
When we have the opportunity, let us grow food and be able to feed ourselves. While at the same time, we should be on the lookout for disease outbreaks. If it so happens, let us report or visit our nearest clinics. The locust outbreak that is already there in Zambezi now, let us report it to the relevant authorities. These are agricultural extension offices, so that then the ministries can know how to deal with it before it escalates and to other regions.
Right. All right. Thank you, Ms. Likando. Thank you, Ms. Ipinga and Ms. Likando, for taking out time of your busy schedules to educate us on the focus for the rainy season that we are actually experiencing now already. Thank you so much for educating us between what is the focus and what is the daily focus and, of course, the seasonal focus. Thank you so much for pointing out the authorities that are in charge of being on the ground and assisting the communities in the events of course, flash floods or dry spells. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate your input for this morning's session. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It was our pleasure being here.
All right.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
All right. Thank you so much. Namibia, we have come to the end of our discussion for the first episode of the information sharing session under the flagship of the OMAS, which means Offices, Ministries, and Agencies. I have been your host. My name is Hileni Felapasamunyela. From myself and the entire GIC production crew, until next time, take care.